that the head of the snake is the financial system. The whole point of finance is to indebt, otherwise to enslave. What is a mortgage? I mean, what does that stand for? It's a death grip. So when you get a mortgage, you have a death grip held over you because you are in debt. You don't even own the house. The bank owns the house that loans you the money to buy the house, unless you're fortunate enough to have all the money to buy it outright. And even then, you can be taxed by the government, and if you fail to keep up with those taxes, the government can then take it from you. The whole system is based on a financial fraud, which effectively takes the power that we have, and it gives it to a tiny group of individuals who are running the world through the control of finance. With the infinite supply of money that we have allowed them to take, they have literally an infinite supply of money, and with that money, and from their psychopathic point of view, they have bought everything and everyone who can be bought. So those of us who cannot be bought, because we operate on a level that goes way beyond the material, we are not rewarded for such behavior, we are punished for such behavior. And the most slovenly, disgustingly criminal, pedophilia, corrupt moral individuals, those are the ones that are rewarded in this system, which is upside down. We reward the pedophiles, we reward the corrupt, we reward the liars, we reward the people with no morals at all.
Alright, Shalom, more praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto the like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace. And I was watching this heavy documentary. After another heavy documentary, brother had sent the spirit that boosted my spirit up, and I was like, damn, this was good. And this one popped up, and I looked at it, and when he said that, man, that just rung a strong chord to everything that we say, everything that we see with our own eyes. This society is a rewarder of evildoers. And those who don't do that evil is heavily persecuted. And that's what the world is. He said it. It's upside down. Isaiah 29:16 tell you the earth are turning things upside down. That they turn everything upside down, all right? And that's what they have done. And I highly suggest you brothers to go out there and watch the remaining of this thing. This is the most wow documentaries I've ever seen in my illustrious career. Kind of felt bad for the people, but at the end of the day, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, this confirms what sort of individuals we're dealing with. All right, we're not dealing with normal men. We're dealing with bloodthirsty, blood-driven. Like that woman had called Alex Jones show, bloodthirsty Edomites. All right, we are dealing with bloodthirsty Edomites, and when you watch this, it confirms everything that you know of when it comes down to these individual men. All right, these individual people. All right, I'll say that much. Okay, and this history that we've been taught, and the modern day history that we've been taught, was all a goddamn lie, as always. And the ones that was writing or telling the story were a whole bunch of liars. Alright? Matter of fact, I'll start with that. Because this whole thing was wow. What I had this here for? Let me see. Matter of fact, I'll start with this. Proverbs 29:10 real quick. The bloodthirsty hate the upright. All right, the bloodthirsty. Keep this in mind, because this is what that particular documentary is all about. There's some bloodthirsty individuals, bro. There's some wicked demons, man. Okay? Matter of fact, since I'm talking about it, Genesis 9:6, it said, whoso sheddeth men's blood, by men shall his blood be shed. For the image of the Most High is made, and so the image of the Elohim made he him. So whoever sheds men's blood, their blood must be shed. And in history, especially now, the way today we had another dead rapper got shot in the head by another nigga, and of course that's the thing now. And a lot of people don't want to be rappers any longer because they starting to realize being a rapper is not the safest thing. You got Boosie, all right, who's saying being a rapper right now, he don't call him a rapper, but all that shit you was talking about, murder, kill, all right, that's all y'all ever promoted. I remember when Boosie came out. I was just leaving the South to come back up north, and he was the hottest new thing. Everybody was feeling him, but he said the same thing like every other nigga, all right. But all they was speaking of is murder, kill. When it's a nigga in the streets, it's a hot thing. But when it comes to one of them, they want to cringe. Well, the reasoning behind that is because a particular people is pushing that agenda. And that particular people has been pushing this agenda for a long period of time. A lot of things that we've been taught about in history, about revolutions and all these other things, like it just naturally happened. No. I remember Pastor Hall has said it. Said, don't believe anything that you see. Everything's a psyop. Everything in history has been a psyop. And that particular, oh my goodness, that shit. That was a beauty. All right. And for a long period of time, we have been in the book of Revelations for a long period of time. Revelations 20, I'll start with that one, and I'm going to go to what I wanted to bring out. Revelations 20:7, it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison. Now, who's Satan? Is it talking about Satan in the spiritual world, that he was locked up somewhere? No, this is talking about that Satan. Because when they give you the history, I'm referring to this documentary. All right, when they give you the history of the characters that is, and they'll tell you that even other empires would not even deal with this particular empire of men, because they were so cutthroat. All right, they were so evil. Okay, nobody wanted to deal with these people. And now, after I watched that documentary, now you see why that house sits on top of the whole house of Esau more than anybody else. Because this is not these people are not, they're not human, man. I mean, we break it down by color and all that, but when you see the characteristics and the reasoning behind them, why they think they do the things that they do, it's like, yo, what? Who thinks that way? But that's them. But when it came, and it started as soon as the Lord took down Jake, that was in rulership in Europe. All right, Satan was loose. That started 1353 when the Ottoman Turks took down the Byzantine Empire. All right, that's when they became loose. They was loose out of their temple, not temple, but out of their prison. Okay, and they didn't become the Ottoman Empire overnight. It took a while to get them to that point. They had to infiltrate. They had to go in and be in a position of power to move certain things. But they were They was possessed to take down the Byzantine Empire. They was possessed to take down Israel. All right. Going back to that documentary, nobody wanted to deal with these individuals. But boy, when they came in power, they destroyed everything. All right, they are the word. That's why the scripture says what it says about the bottomless pit, because they came out of that bottomless pit, which the bottomless pit in Revelations, the 9th chapter, is talking about. Of course, it's talking about Europe and the assassination of a particular prince that started at World War II. And the reasoning behind that is another story in itself. But certain books, certain archives that they had put, it told you exactly how they wanted to make a World War I, World War II, World War III. They are the living embodiment of Revelations. In other words, they are the living embodiment of all the evil that you have read that was going to take place on the planet Earth, because they was loose out of their prison. So for a long period of time, they couldn't lie, they couldn't cheat, they couldn't do nothing. But when the opportunity came, they took it and they ran with it so hard. It says, and they shall go out to deceive the nations. And it's all about deception. It's not about truth. Deception. Talking about infiltration of governments. You're talking about planting seeds of governments. How the things are constructed. Why they constructed the way it is. Why people had to go through them. How they put themselves in position of power. What agenda had to be pushed. All right. This was not a small event. It says, which are in the four quarters of the earth. So from Russia, because that's why it's basically that particular documentary is based on Russia, India, Japan, you name it, South America, South Africa, Africa itself, North America. They have deceived the whole entire world. To this very day, they trying to keep an agenda out there. They're trying to keep a certain outlook. And a couple of documentaries I've seen today, they're proving that for all these years that these people had to be the heads of that house. They are those people that we say they are. All right. Scripture says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. That is not a lie. All right. History has shown it. It says Gog and Magog, which Gog and Magog is Russia. All right. To gather them together. So you have small hats over here. That's telling them what to do, and you have the small hats over there. They all in secrecy, all in secrecy. Outly, they seemingly set up the world on a new world order, which is gonna come with Slovakia, which is gonna come with a new world war. All right, which they are a part of, but they setting it up. Pastor did the video. U.S. troops are in Ukraine. This is for that great battle. It says, together to the battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And what is that speaking of? That's talking about a world event. All right, the final world war. This war is real. All right, this is the real deal. And they had deceived the whole world, man. They deceived the whole world. So let me get couple of scriptures. I highly recommend, if anybody watch my videos, I recommend to go to BitChute and watch that video. That's some serious things. Revelation 6 and, as a matter of fact, I saw that morning. Revelation 6 and 1, it says, I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. So John, the Revelator, is seeing all this in the vision. All right. And he's a witness to see this ceremony that's being taken place in the heavens. And this ceremony that's being taken place in the heavens is the final acts that's going to take place on earth. All right. So he's seen in the past, all right, in our past, which is our future. And I saw and behold a white horse. All right. And that horse is talking about Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. So a lot of these Christians will sit there and say, oh, that's the anti, no, that's not talking about the anti, what. That's talking about the Messiah himself. All right. And what the event is showing is him going to conquer. But what is he going to conquer? And that's the thing that people don't understand. All right. They believe that it's just 4 horsemen, 4 events that's going to take place, and they're going to go the way they want it to go. No. This is the Lord coming back to conquer. There's plenty of scriptures to back that up. Revelations 19 and 10. Matthew's the 25th chapter. 25 on down, when the Lord coming back in his glory. All right. With his angels. I tell you. All right. He coming, and mainly Revelations. Matter of fact, let me read that real quick. Revelations 19 and 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, which is what, and that white horse represent the power, but it also represent the massive chariot, the fathership that Yahushua is coming. He's coming in. That's what, referring to Second Ezra, Second Ezra, I believe it's the 13th chapter or the second chapter. Speaks about how Ezra couldn't find the mountain that the Lord came in. All right, he looked in the world like which mountain was taken out, but it was talking about the fathership, the massive ship. It says, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. All right, and righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So that's the same event that's talking about in Revelations 6 and 4. He's coming to conquer. All right, but to conquer what? The Lord's not going to just come to the earth and take it down without a cause, without a reason. He's going to come to conquer. And in order to conquer, he has to have an adversary. In order to have the adversary have to be built up. In order for the adversary to be built up, he must have the power and everything given to him. Earth is, Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. All right. And he has to have the technology. Okay. There's plenty of scriptures. I just want to make this. It says, verse 3, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard a second beast say, come and see. And here's the point. And they went out another horse that was red. And red represent what? Of course, red represents blood mostly. But it is red. This red is a particular people. All right. A particular people. And it says, and power was given unto him. And when was this power given to him? Go to the source. Genesis 27 and 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So this is the event of Jacob and Esau. Jacob receiving the blessing, which the Lord had him to disguise himself as Esau, because the Lord had to blind Isaac. Isaac was looking at things in a carnal sense, and the Lord had to guide him in a spiritual sense. So the Lord made Rebecca make Esau to dress as, made Jacob to dress and smell like Esau to get the true blessing. All right, it's her remembering what this prophet told her, that the first shall serve the elder. The elder should serve Slakia. The elder should serve the younger. All right. And knowing that the characteristics of Esau, he could not receive the good blessing. And this is how the Lord is fair. Okay. So he gave Jacob his blessing, which Jacob became Israel, and Israel was given the promise. All right. That royal seed, that royal line. But Esau, he also gave a blessing. He said, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And that right there should prove that Esau, Edom, is the ruler of the world. Because the dew of heaven, all right, meaning the skies, the different atmospheres, who is controlling that? There's no other race of people, all right, great empires that came prior to that even reached to that plateau, that have helicopters, airplanes, and so forth. That in itself should prove that this who is speaking of. But there's more to it. It's all right. verse 40, and it says, by thy sword shall thy live. Okay? So Esau, his descendants, become bloody men. They'll become men of war, men of wickedness, and by their sword they shall live. All right? So this is the blessing that was given from Isaac through the Spirit of the Lord unto Esau. It says, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that shall break his yoke from off thy neck. And that took place twice. The time of after David and Solomon was gone, and after that, after he was released after that prison, okay, he broke that yoke of iron. And when it really started, 1353, and what was the result of that? What was the push? The real push, 1492. All right. Since 1492, this man has wreaked havoc on the planet Earth. And the guides of the Borgia family and that devil that brought massive death throughout the whole four corners, especially here in the Americas, Christopher Columbus, or Christopher Columbus, which he's well known. All right. So this man is deaf. In fact, let me go back to that. This is basic stuff, but when you watch that video, you'll see exactly what it's heavy, man. It says, and they went out another horse that was red. So this is the event. This is what the Lord's going to go. One of the main things that the Lord's going to conquer. And now that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to focus on the others, because he definitely, man, it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. I mean, do we have to say anymore? We in World War III. According to the scriptures, all right, it's according to the Tanakh, all right, the Torah to Tanakh. The Tanakh is what? The books of the prophets. That when the children of the Most High, the children of Israel, would go into the land, there will be peace on earth. There is no peace. So this man has the power to take peace from people. What's the opposite of peace? War. All right. These are war-driven mongoloids, man. These are war-driven beings. These are bloodthirsty beings, man. And their hatred is deep. It says from the earth, and that they should kill one another. So who's the one that's going out to all these different countries and causing all these different havocs? All right, and sovereign states of people have their own natural resources, and some odd reason, the people of that land is poor. Here you have a great resource that can make your economy rich, but the people are poor. They're suffering. Where's all the money going to? Then they're gonna say, "Oh, it's a corrupt government." But who's the government going to? All right. Who can you not speak against? It says, "And that they should kill one another," because that's the only thing left if there's no peace, right? And it was given unto him a great sword. Did we not just read that? So that great sword is talking about this ICBM nuclear missiles. So this man is as deaf as it says in Habakkuk. And I'm just gonna end off on this. Well, it is what it is. Ezekiel 35. That's 5. Ezekiel 35 and 5. I should start at 1. Matter of fact, I start at 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesied against it. And where is Mount Seir? South of Judah. All right, but who was dwelling in the Mount Seir? It was Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, that's where his ancestors come from. Even the scholars would say how Rome was Esau. All right, the Roman Empire was in the beginning stage when it became a great empire. It was ran by Edomites. All right. Matter of fact, when they really came into power, they came into power under who? Alexander the Greek, which he also come from that extension. it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai on Mount Seir, I'm against thee, I will stretch out my hand against thee, I will make thee most desolate, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. And that goes back to what? That goes to slavery. All right? That goes back to a lot of events. When the Babylonians came to take down the nation of Israel, who aided them? Esau, the Edomites. All right? So perpetual meaning forever hatred. So when you read about Jacob and Esau, they hated each other in the womb. They was trying to kill one another. And this is now those two great nations are out and about. That war never went away. Okay? But it says, and I'm gonna read it again, because I had perpetual hatred forever, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel. So keep that in mind, shed the blood of the children of Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Seest thou has not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. When you watch that documentary, you'll know exactly why I said that for. I would highly suggest it. Lord, when I put a link to it, these people love blood, man. A lot of things we was taught in history was a goddamn lie, which we all know now. And everything that was ran by a particular group of people. And every aspect of human suffering, of genocide, like they love using that word loosely, all that ish was headed by these particular people. It says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, him that runneth. Meaning the Lord's gonna wipe you out. All right. Since you don't mind shedding blood, since you don't mind breaking one of the commandments that men is supposed to keep, because Genesis 9:6 is not just for the Israelites, that was for all living men. All right, showing that all men knew the laws. These people have no care for life in general, anyone's life, but yet they paint you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as the worst of the worst. All of a sudden, black on black crime is the worst of the worst. But this man has been genociding, massacring races of people like it was nothing. All right? Like it was nothing, like it was a sport. It says, I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In the hills, in the valleys, in the river, in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. All right? The Lord does not care for bloodshedders, man. Because I have said these two nations, these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it. Talking about what? When they stole the land. They stole the land, They literally stole that land. Okay? They possessed the land. They possessed the land. They possessed the Lord's people. Whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will even do according to thine anger. So the same, think about the logics, right? Matter of fact, real quick, not the logics. We're going to go to the scriptures. real quick. Galatians 6 and 7. It says, "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." So what do they sow? What do they sow? Rape, robbery, murder. All right. Let me go back to this. I'm gonna make this long. Back in Ezekiel 35, I think it's 11. Yep. It says, "Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I will even do according to thy anger, according to thy envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them." Talking about who? Israel. The true Israelites. "I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee." So the great judgment is coming on you, goddamn devils, man. And we're seeing it. Your greatest nightmares come true. The world has seen who you truly are. All right? And it wasn't an Israelite that made that documentary. I'll say that much. Okay? The world's starting to see who you really are. That's why the whole Ye thing, the whole Kyrie thing, all right, despite if they apologize, the world is seeing who you really are. It says, "And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that have heard that all thy blasphemies, which is a filthy, wicked act, right, which they have spoken against the mountains of Israel, which are the nation of Israel, saying that they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume." Let's go back to Isaiah 14. It tells you that they sit up in the north congregation over the stars. So they possess us. All right. Verse 13. "Hey, thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them." So the Heavenly Father said, all right? Because who are the ones that literally had said that the Heavenly Father doesn't exist? They are. Who heads all this atheism in the planet Earth? They do. All right? But yet they want to claim to be the Lord's people. All right? It says, "As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of my house of Israel, of the house of Israel, and because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate on Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord." And who's Idumea? Idumea is Esau Edom. All right, the Greek word of saying who they are. Matter of fact, I was supposed to read it one more. Verse 14, Slaki, I jumped. "For thus saith the Lord, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate." So the only way world peace can ever be established is when these particular people are taken out. Period. All right. And the web is deep. You cannot function in this current world without their fingerprints in it, and they make sure of that. So the only way the Lord is gonna do it is by ultimately taking everything from them. In 1 hour, they're gonna lose everything. All right. 400 plus years of bullshit. These mother effers have done a wonderful, horrible work on the earth. But in 1 hour, it's gonna be all done. So "As thou hast rejoiced at the inheritance of my house of Israel," of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate on Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it. And they shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So with that, check that documentary out. Shalom.